Good afternoon and welcome to this week's issue of Print21, the weekly TV news bulletin for the printing industry, brought to you by Print21. My name is Wayne Robinson, editor of the magazine. This week's issue is sponsored by Foxhill, trade supplier of labels, stickers and point of sale items. News in the printing industry this week is dominated by the budget, handed down by the Federal Treasurer, Josh Frydenberg, and saw the government rip up its fiscal ideology and replace it with a budget that is designed to bring the country back out of recession and into growth again next year. The key talking points for the printing industry in particular were the relaxation of the instant asset write-off levels, which basically means now that the full value of all equipment that's bought between now and June 2022 will be able to be placed on your tax return as an allowable expense for the year. Effectively means that all your what would have been depreciation carried forward is now consolidated into 1 year. Just as importantly for the printing industry and for all small business, the government announced a carry-back losses plan, which means that instead of losses from last year, this year and next year going forward into future profitable years being written off against them, they can be written off against profitable years from the past few years. There have been plenty of other initiatives. Go to print21.com.au for all those, including a reduction in red tape, apprentices being able to, you can now have half the wages for your apprentices, up to $7,000 a quarter, paid by the government. They'll also pay $200 a week for any new staff that you hire that are aged between 16 and 30, $100 a week, 30 to 35. And there is mental health support as well for small business owners. Reaction has been mixed. Andrew McCauley, CEO at PVCA, said it was a good budget for printers and hailed the relaxation instant asset write-off, the extension of the limits there, as a terrific short-term benefit for the printing industry. Kelly Northwood at TRMC, Real Media Collective, said it was welcomed the budget, saying it showed support for the industry and that there was plenty in it for printers. Also commenting on it, Peter Orell from CEO at Finsbury Green, one of the big printers in Melbourne or nationwide, said it was a very promising budget with plenty of stimulus in there. Rodney Frost, the CEO of Lamson Paragon, called it a fantastic budget with plenty in it for printers. Peter Harper, the CEO of the Suppliers Association, Visual Connections, welcoming the instant asset decision, also said that the carryback losses will be really good news for printers as it will help boost their cash flow. Mitch Mulligan, president of the Visual Connections, said that the core announcements would be warmly welcomed by the industry. Others were more sanguine. Richard Rasmussen at Ascent Partners said that the budget left plenty to be desired. There was nothing in there, or very little in there, about insolvency, and printing and packaging were not in the $1.3 billion stimulus of six core industries for the future. Richard Salag at Opus Press Group said that while the support for younger workers was to be welcomed, he was disappointed that there was no support for older workers. Kate Carnell, the small business ombudsman, said that it was a missed opportunity in terms of the insolvency laws, which have yet to be sorted out for smaller businesses. Overall, though, printers will be hoping that the direct benefits to them and the indirect benefits to the high street of $100 million through the budget, tax cuts for everybody, will roll on and will help the presses get rolling, get filled up again. Print21, though, can say that we've talked to plenty of printers over the past week or two, and their presses are rolling again. We talked to a big commercial printer in Sydney, his top 25 clients are spending as much as ever. CMYK Hub in Melbourne, trade printer, has seen an influx of orders. A big book printer has had its best ever October. Visy, the huge packaging and printing producer, has broken all its records in August, had its best ever August, up by 33% as consumers and brands switch from plastic packaging to paper and board-based packaging. Plenty of other news in the printing industry this week. We can report the biggest press investment sale of the year has just been signed, with Amazon signing up for $400 million worth of Cornet digital direct-to-garment printing equipment as it tries to cash in on the personalised products boom. We've seen Durst by a US-based wide format supplier, wide format technology developer, Vanguard, which will enable Durst to compete in the entry-level wide format sector. Those products will be here, Matt Ashman tells me, next year. That's it for this week's issue of Play Print21. Thanks to our sponsor Foxhill, trade supplier of labels, stickers and point of sale items. This is me, Wayne Robinson, signing off for another week.